Welcome to another smashing episode of Business and Leadership Stories. Sachin Bhandari, the much loved, well traveled Sachin Bhandari, is today a storyteller, a coach, a business leadership guru extraordinaire. It's only because of his life's experiences that he's able to shape the careers of many in corporate India. The drill is very simple. We tell you one famous or not so famous business story, and from that business story come lessons that we can learn, absorb, and assimilate, which I'm sure will help you in your career and your profession. What's up, my brother? How are you?
I'm very good, Hrishi. So if I was single today and I had to get married to somebody, I'd send you to introduce me to my love interest.
To your love interest.
Yeah. Fortunately or unfortunately, I'm married. Unfortunately, my wife does watch this show. So
For a moment, I thought either your wife doesn't watch this show or you really have a death wish. Okay, this is fantastic. I mean, this is your adopted city. I mean, you're born in Mumbai city, but you live in Mysore now.
Yes.
You've fallen in love with the south of the Vindhyas. And in Mysore landed a carpenter by profession, Ranjeet.
That's right.
And this is a gentleman from Rajasthan. And by profession, he was a carpenter.
Right.
And I think that's the story springboard and allow you to spring from there. Continue the story.
Thanks a lot, Hrishi. So this gentleman's name is Ranjeet Dan Ujjwal. Like you said, he is a carpenter. He arrived in Mysore in 2016. He was already working in that profession, had worked in the city earlier. So he came back thinking that he's going to become an entrepreneur in the city, start his own carpentry business. He was now married, or had some more responsibilities and bigger ambitions as well. But help was not forthcoming from his previous employer because they saw him as a threat. So the going was really tough for this man, for Ranjit. And he told me that there were days or rather nights that he would have to sleep at Mysore's suburban bus stand because he did not have enough money to pay rent. He used to get really small, odd jobs. But over a period of time, things changed for him. He started getting some smaller projects. Somebody was a well-wisher, took him to this group called BNI, Business Networking International. And he realized that he now has access to a network which will get him clients. And he joined the community, did really well, worked very hard, started building his business. And now I want you to guess how large is his team and what might be the kind of projects he's handling.
All right, let me see. Carpenter comes into town, penniless. I would reckon about 25 now.
25. That's, I think, a good number, but it's probably, it's definitely close to double of that figure. Not more than double of that figure. He now has 6 managers and he has 64 laborers who work with him full time.
64.
Yeah. And
Holy moly, will he adopt me?
And the interesting thing,
Rishi, he seems to be making a lot of money, that fellow.
Yes, he is. I've seen the car he drives. So, yeah. And also, Hrishi, earlier he says that, 2016, 2017, he was happy if he would get 500,000 rupees. Like for him, it was a big deal. Today, the only projects he touches are in the tune of 1 crore plus, nothing less than that.
Wow.
So that's a story of inspiration
like
on
one
this Tuesday morning.
One of my favorite British bands would say, that's the story Morning Glory, which is Oasis from Manchester City. What we do with Sachin is not only soak in that story, but now absorb lessons that one can gauge from that story. So what is it? Ranjeet, the carpenter who arrives from Rajasthan into Mysore, spends sleepless nights or nights sleeping in the Mufassil, the suburban bus stand in Mysore. What is the lesson we can learn from this man who has 64 people working under him now, multiple managers, drives a sleek car?
That's true. So the lesson is fairly simple and it's from a communication perspective. I think one of the other things that Ranjeet does really well is that he is a great storyteller. So if you look at many different entrepreneurs, a lot of them will not be able to highlight or share their story in such an interesting way that you would want to, root for this guy or go ahead and get as many clients as you can for that person. But Ranjeet has that ability, and I've realized that Ranjeet uses the from to format while narrating a story.
Wow.
He intuitively understands that if he talks about the fact that he slept at a bus stand, and today he's making crores with 64 team members and multiple managers and all of that. You are able to see the rags to riches story, and that's why you feel inspired and you want to be in the company of that person. So that's one tip for all of our listeners and viewers, that when you want to narrate a story about a client or about your team member or anybody else for that matter, use the from to format, because that arc is super important to make the audience get interested in the story that you are narrating. So that's the tip for today.
Wow. Lead with stories, movie-like data presentations, story punch for marketing and sales. Well, those are not things that I've conjured up. It's stuff that Sachin Bhandari does, his signature programs. If you're a corporate, MSME or late-stage startup looking to enhance leadership, communication, marketing and sales skills in your organization, you've got to reach out to him. Also, sample his Win with Stories newsletter on LinkedIn. How can one reach you, my friend?
It's fairly simple. Look for Sachin Bhandari on LinkedIn. Sachin is easy. Bhandari is Bhandary. And on my LinkedIn is a link which says get in touch or stay in touch. So you can click that link, subscribe to the newsletter. But I've also launched a community for business storytelling called Story Club. We meet every Saturday from 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. So if you'd like to join as a guest and see if you want to become a member, you can.
I guarantee you will want to become a member. I'm going to see you next week, my friend.
Look forward
Thank you for your
to it.
time. Cheers.
94.3 Radio 1.